Cultural relativism. Have you ever considered the idea that our values, beliefs, and behaviors are influenced by the culture in which we live? How do cultural norms shape our understanding of what is right or wrong, acceptable or unacceptable? Cultural relativism offers an intriguing perspective on these questions by suggesting that the meaning and morality of actions are relative to the cultural context in which they occur. Let's delve into the key principles of cultural relativism, explore its applications in various contexts, and provide compelling examples that illustrate its practical implications. At its core, cultural relativism challenges the notion of universal moral truths and argues that moral standards are not absolute but are instead shaped by the cultural beliefs and practices of a particular society. It suggests that different cultures have distinct sets of values, norms, and customs, and that these variations should be understood and respected rather than judged against a single standard of morality. One fundamental principle of cultural relativism is cultural diversity. It recognizes that cultures around the world have developed unique ways of life, belief systems, and ethical codes that reflect their historical, social, and environmental contexts. What is considered morally acceptable or unacceptable in one culture may differ from another, and cultural relativism highlights the importance of understanding these differences without imposing one's own cultural biases. For example, practices such as polygamy, arranged marriages, or animal sacrifice may be accepted and even celebrated in certain cultures, while they are frowned upon or considered unethical in others. Cultural relativism argues that instead of automatically labeling these practices as right or wrong, we should seek to understand the cultural context in which they occur and the values and beliefs that underpin them. Another key component of cultural relativism is the notion of moral subjectivity. It suggests that moral judgments are subjective and vary from person to person and culture to culture. What one culture considers morally right may be seen as morally wrong by another culture. Cultural relativism encourages us to recognize and respect these differences rather than imposing our own moral framework on others. However, it is important to note that cultural relativism does not imply that anything goes or that all cultural practices are equally valid. It does not condone or justify actions that violate fundamental human rights or cause harm to individuals. There are universally recognized principles, such as respect for human dignity, freedom from violence and discrimination, and the right to life and liberty, which are considered fundamental and should be upheld regardless of cultural relativism. Cultural relativism has significant implications in various fields, including anthropology, ethics, and intercultural communication. In anthropology, cultural relativism is a guiding principle for understanding and studying different cultures without imposing ethnocentric judgments. It helps researchers approach their studies with an open mind, seeking to comprehend the meaning and significance of cultural practices within their specific contexts. In the realm of ethics, cultural relativism challenges the idea of a single, universal moral standard and encourages individuals to engage in cultural sensitivity and understanding. It promotes tolerance, empathy, and the recognition that our own moral beliefs may not be applicable or relevant to other cultures. This perspective is particularly relevant in multicultural societies where people from diverse backgrounds interact and coexist. In intercultural communication, cultural relativism plays a crucial role in fostering effective communication and reducing misunderstandings. It emphasizes the need to approach cultural differences with an open mind and to suspend judgment based on our own cultural biases. By recognizing and respecting different cultural perspectives, we can build bridges of understanding and promote harmonious relationships. Critics of cultural relativism argue that it can lead to moral relativism, where any action can be justified solely based on cultural context. They contend that some moral principles, such as human rights, should be upheld universally and not subject to cultural relativism. It is essential to strike a balance between respecting cultural differences and promoting universal ethical principles that protect human dignity and well-being. In conclusion, cultural relativism challenges the idea of universal moral truths and asserts that moral standards are shaped by cultural contexts. It emphasizes cultural diversity, moral subjectivity, and the importance of understanding and respecting different cultural perspectives. While it has limitations and does not justify actions that violate fundamental human rights, cultural relativism offers valuable insights into the complexities of cultural beliefs, norms, and practices, promoting cultural understanding, empathy, and effective intercultural communication.